Have you ever wondered why some people transform challenges into stepping stones while others turn away? The difference isn't luck. It isn't some mysterious talent. It's the way they train their mind. Success begins the moment you decide to lead your own thoughts instead of letting them lead you. Your mindset is the compass. It's the inner engine that fuels courage, keeps you moving forward when everything feels uncertain, and allows you to reach heights you never imagined. Mastering your inner world doesn't start when everything is easy. It begins the second you choose to walk ahead, even when the path is unclear. Think of it like this. Your comfort zone is a soft chair. It feels safe, familiar, predictable, but stay there too long, and you stop stretching, you stop learning, and you stop discovering the greatness within you. Growth doesn't live in safety. It lives just beyond that invisible edge. Every time you lean into discomfort, every time you try something new, you expand your world. That is how confidence is built. Not by waiting for courage to suddenly arrive, but by earning it through action. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine someone terrified of speaking in public. At first, the thought of standing in front of others makes their heart race and their voice tremble. But they start small. Maybe they share a single idea in a small meeting. It feels uncomfortable, but they do it anyway. Next time, they agree to introduce a guest at a company event. Weeks later, they're delivering a short presentation to a room full of people. What once felt terrifying now feels possible. Confidence doesn't appear overnight. It grows with every brave step. It's the same story for every great achievement. Serena Williams didn't start by winning championships. She first picked up a racket and stepped onto the court as a beginner. Picasso didn't create masterpieces on day one. He first faced a blank canvas. Elon Musk didn't inspire the world with bold ideas until he dared to test them against doubt and uncertainty. The pattern is always the same. Growth begins when you step into the unknown. Now, here's something important. Leaving your comfort zone is not about chasing danger or forcing yourself into things you dislike. It's about choosing growth over ease, expansion over hesitation, possibility over fear. Each time you take a small leap, you discover more of what you are capable of. And here's the beautiful part. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. One day you stop asking yourself, "What if I fail?" and instead ask, "What could I gain if I try?" Think about the moments you'll remember at the end of your life. They won't be the times you played it safe. They'll be the moments when your knees were shaking, your voice was trembling, but you moved forward anyway. Those are the turning points, the sparks that light up your story. But here's the catch. Your mind will try to hold you back. It's wired to protect you, to keep you safe, to repeat what's familiar. It whispers, "Stay here, don't risk it, don't stretch." Yet, that same voice can trap you in patterns that never change. The real question is, which voice will you listen to? The one that clings to safety, or the one that quietly reminds you that you are made for more? You don't need to start with huge leaps. Begin small. Say yes to a new project. Speak up when you'd usually stay silent. Try a new skill that sparks curiosity. Even tiny steps train your courage. Over time, the things that once felt impossible will become your new normal. Imagine an athlete training for a marathon. They don't wake up one morning and run 40 kilometers. They start with a short jog, then a longer one, then more. Each run stretches their limits until what once seemed unreachable becomes routine. That's how growth works, one step at a time. And let me tell you this, every single person who has ever inspired you has faced the same resistance. They felt the same doubts, the same fears, the same urge to stay in the warm safety of the familiar. But they chose differently. They decided that the price of staying small was greater than the discomfort of growing. That's the choice in front of you today. So here's the truth. Every extraordinary journey begins the moment You push beyond what feels comfortable. Not because it's easy, not because you're fearless, but because you refuse to let comfort be the limit of your life. When you do this, when you lean into that first step, however small, you set in motion a ripple of growth that expands in every direction. Your confidence grows, your vision expands, your opportunities multiply. And one day, you'll look back and realize that those shaky first steps were the foundation of everything you've built. That is the power of stepping beyond comfort. That is where your real story begins. Picture yourself walking down a road with no signs, no map, no destination. You're moving, yes, but are you really going anywhere? That's what life feels like, without goals that truly excite you. A dream is not just a wish. A dream becomes real only when it's given structure, direction, and energy through clear goals. Goals act like a compass. They guide your steps, help you make decisions, and remind you of what really matters when distractions come knocking. But not every goal has the same power. Some goals feel heavy, like obligations. Others shine with energy, filling you with eagerness to act. The difference is simple. Goals that change your life are the ones that light you up from within. A powerful goal isn't something you think you should do. It's something that resonates with your soul. It's aligned with your values, your passion, your vision of who you want to become. It might be learning a skill you've always admired, building something lasting, or reaching a milestone you've dreamed of since childhood. When a goal excites you, it doesn't live only in your head. It lives in your heart, and that fire is what keeps you moving even on the days when progress feels slow. Without clear goals, it's easy to stay busy but feel empty. You might chase things that look good from the outside but leave you unfulfilled inside. You might run fast, but in the wrong direction. That's why clarity is everything. Setting goals that energize you begins with one simple but powerful question. What truly matters to me? Not what others expect, not what seems practical, not what looks impressive. What matters to you? Forget about the noise for a moment. Ask yourself, what excites me? What challenges me? What would make me proud to achieve? Once you know it, make that vision vivid. See it. Feel it. Imagine what it will be like when you get there. Because when your mind has a picture of the finish line, your actions begin to align with it. Of course, big dreams can feel intimidating at first. That's why the secret is breaking them down into small, doable steps. Each step is progress. Each step builds momentum. Let me paint you a picture. Think about an artist who has painted privately for years, never showing their work. One day, they decide to set a goal. In 6 months, I'll host my first exhibition. At first, it feels overwhelming, but they break it down, choosing a theme, completing one canvas at a time, finding a venue, sharing the idea with friends. Step by step, what once seemed impossible takes shape. On the day of the exhibition, they look around the gallery, see people admiring their art, and feel the pride of bringing their vision to life. That's the magic of goals that inspire you. They don't just change what you do, they transform who you become. And yes, there will be obstacles. There will be days when you feel tired, when progress slows, when doubts creep in. That's normal. What matters is remembering the spark that ignited the journey. Think of Michael Jordan. He didn't become legendary overnight. He set goals, failed, learned, and kept showing up. His greatness wasn't built in a single game, but in years of relentless dedication fueled by goals that meant something to him. Your journey works the same way. The dream won't always feel exciting, but your commitment to it will carry you through. When you set a goal that lights you up, something remarkable happens. Your discipline strengthens, because you're working for something worth the effort. Your focus sharpens, because you stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. Your life gains meaning, because you know where you're going and why you're going there. Every step you take toward that vision, no matter how small, is a declaration. I am moving closer to the life I choose. Remember, the finish line isn't the only reward. The real treasure lies in the journey itself. Every late night spent learning, every challenge you overcome, every ounce of effort, it shapes you. It builds character, confidence, and resilience. When you finally reach that goal, you'll look back and realize something powerful. The person you became along the way is the greatest reward of all. So dream boldly. Choose goals that ignite your spirit. And then, step by step, turn that dream into reality. Because your future isn't waiting somewhere far away. It's being built right now. With every choice you make, every action you take. Life has a way of surprising us. Sometimes with joy, sometimes with challenges that shake us to the core. Plans fall apart, dreams get delayed, doors close when we least expect it. And in those moments, it's easy to feel stuck. But here's the truth. Your strength isn't revealed when everything goes smoothly. It shows itself when the ground shakes, when setbacks arrive, when life tests you. That strength is called resilience, the ability to rise again, to keep moving forward, to turn challenges into fuel for growth. Resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's not about ignoring pain or denying difficulty. It's about meeting reality head-on, learning from it, and choosing not to let it define you. It's the inner voice that says, "This will not break me." Think of Oprah Winfrey. She faced poverty, loss, and rejection early in life. But instead of letting hardship define her, she used it as a stepping stone, growing stronger with each challenge. Her resilience didn't erase the struggles. It transformed them into lessons that built her future. That's the essence of resilience. Growth through struggle. Every obstacle you face has the potential to be more than a setback. It can become the chapter that shapes your greatest comeback. When adversity arrives, you have a choice. Will you close off, or will you let it strengthen you? Here's one powerful shift. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" That single question can transform obstacles into opportunities. It helps you see lessons where others see endings. Suddenly, struggles aren't just problems. They're teachers, guiding you toward wisdom, creativity, and strength. You've already proven this to yourself. Think back to a time when you thought you wouldn't make it through, yet you did. Maybe you faced a loss, a failure, or a difficult season. And here you are, stronger, wiser, more prepared. That memory is proof. You are far more capable than you believe. Building resilience also comes from taking care of yourself. Nourish your body. Protect your energy. Keep routines that give you strength. The healthier you feel inside and out, the more ready you are to handle whatever comes. And don't forget the people around you. Sometimes others will see your strength before you see it yourself. Their encouragement can remind you to keep going when you feel like stopping. Let's look at an example. Imagine an entrepreneur who poured years into building their company, only to lose a major client that provided most of their income. At first, it feels devastating, like everything they worked for is collapsing. But after the initial shock, they regroup. They analyze what went wrong, improve their strategy, and start reaching out to new opportunities. Months later, not only have they replaced the lost client, but they've built partnerships that are even stronger and more profitable than before. What once looked like an ending became the turning point to something better. That's resilience in action. Resilience doesn't grow overnight. It's built decision by decision. Every time you choose to keep going instead of giving up, you strengthen it. Each time you stand back up after falling, you build a deeper layer of courage. And with time, the storms of life don't feel as overwhelming. You realize they're temporary. Clouds move. Seasons change. New beginnings always come. Nelson Mandela once said that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Resilience is the same. It's not the absence of hardship, but the decision to rise through it. Here's what makes resilience so powerful. It doesn't just help you survive challenges, it helps you grow because of them. Failures become lessons. Losses become reminders of what matters most. Setbacks become training grounds for greater success. Every trial you endure adds another layer to your inner strength. Every obstacle prepares you for the next victory. So the next time life tests you, remember, you are stronger than the storm. You've overcome before, and you can overcome again. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It's about transforming it. It's about turning scars into strength, wounds into wisdom, and obstacles into opportunities. When you embrace resilience, setbacks stop being endings. They become beginnings, the starting point of a stronger, wiser, more determined version of you. And one day, you'll look back and realize the very moments that felt like breaking points were the ones that made you unshakable. Imagine for a moment, what would you attempt if failure wasn't possible? What dream would you chase if you knew success was guaranteed? That simple question opens your eyes to something powerful. Most of the limits you face aren't on the outside. They live inside your own mind. The truth is, people often hold back not because they can't, but because they've convinced themselves they can't. Invisible walls rise up in their imagination, and those walls feel real until they challenge them. Self-belief is about tearing down those walls. It's about trusting that you are capable of learning, of growing, of figuring things out as you go. It's not about perfection, and it's not about already having every answer. It's about confidence in your ability to become. Think of J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she was rejected by multiple publishers. For years, she battled doubt, but she kept writing. What kept her going wasn't outside validation. It was her quiet belief that she had a story worth telling. That belief changed her life. That's what self-belief does. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. It transforms "I can't" into "I'll learn how." Here's something important. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you'll never fail. It means you won't let failure stop you. You'll treat it as part of the process, not the end of the road. Everyone starts with doubts. Even the most successful people once wondered if they were good enough. The difference is they took the first step anyway. One of the most powerful ways to build self-belief is to pay attention to the way you talk to yourself. Your inner voice shapes your reality. When you hear yourself saying, "I can't do this," flip it into, "I'm learning how to do this." That one shift keeps the door open instead of slamming it shut. Another practice is to track your small victories. Write them down. Remember the tough tasks you completed, the moments you showed courage, the skills you've already mastered. These reminders become proof that you can progress when you commit. And just as important, surround yourself with people who see your strengths. Sometimes others will believe in you before you believe in yourself. Their encouragement can serve as borrowed confidence until you find your own. Let's paint a picture. Imagine someone who always dreamed of writing a book. For years, they told themselves, "I'm not a real writer." Then one day, they decide to try. They set a goal to write a few hundred words every day. At first, the writing feels slow, awkward, even clumsy, but they keep going. Weeks pass, then months. Pages pile up. Eventually, they hold a finished draft in their hands. What changed? Their belief didn't arrive first. It grew through action. Step by step, they proved to themselves that they were capable all along. That's the secret. Confidence is built, not given. It grows each time you take action in spite of doubt. Every time you try instead of hesitate, belief gets stronger. Every time you get back up after falling, belief gets deeper. Every time you commit to your vision, belief becomes part of who you are. Remember Thomas Edison's story. He made thousands of attempts before inventing the light bulb. Most people would have quit after the first dozen failures. But Edison didn't see those as failures. He saw them as steps toward success. His belief wasn't in instant perfection, but in his ability to figure it out. That mindset lit up the world. And here's the magic. When you believe in your potential, you start taking risks you would have avoided before. You open doors you didn't even notice were there. You stop asking, "What if I'm not ready?" and start saying, "I'll grow into readiness." This shift changes everything. You take more chances. You seize more opportunities. You dream bigger, act bolder, and discover just how far you can go. So let me say this clearly. You are capable of far more than you realize. The person you are becoming is shaped by the beliefs you carry right now. If you decide today to believe in your own potential, you open the door to everything waiting for you. And when you look back years from now, you'll see that the moment you started believing in yourself was the exact moment your life began to expand. Because self-belief isn't just confidence. It's the foundation of every dream, every breakthrough, every victory. And it's available to you right now, the moment you choose to claim it. Passion is that spark inside you, the excitement that makes your heart race when you think about doing something you love. It's the energy that keeps you awake at night, dreaming of possibilities, the fire that makes effort feel like play. But here's the truth. Passion alone is not enough. Passion may ignite the journey, but discipline carries it to the finish line. Passion without discipline is like a flame without fuel. It burns brightly at first, but quickly fades. Discipline without passion feels heavy, like walking through mud. But when passion and discipline work together, they create momentum that can't be stopped. Let's take an example. Think of Simone Biles, one of the greatest gymnasts of all time. Her passion for the sport was clear from childhood. But what made her extraordinary wasn't just her love for gymnastics. It was the discipline of endless hours in the gym, the willingness to repeat routines again and again, long after the excitement faded. Passion gave her a reason to start. Discipline ensured she finished strong. That's the formula. Passion opens the door. Discipline walks you through it. Discipline means showing up even on the days when inspiration is nowhere to be found. It's writing when the words feel stuck. It's practicing when progress feels slow. It's training when your body wants rest. Discipline is the promise you make to yourself that you'll keep going, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Think of it this way. Passion is the heartbeat. Discipline is the backbone. One gives energy, the other gives structure. Together, they create results. Let's imagine a gardener planting a beautiful garden. At first, the vision excites them. Rows of flowers, fresh vegetables, colors, and life everywhere. But as days turn into weeks, the excitement fades. Now it's about watering daily, pulling weeds, protecting the plants. Without discipline, the garden withers. But with consistent care, eventually the flowers bloom, the vegetables grow, and the dream becomes reality. That's how life works. Every dream has two parts: the passion that inspires it and the discipline that sustains it. Passion is fragile if you don't protect it. You must make time for it, even when life gets busy. Treat it as something sacred, worth showing up for, because passion can fade when neglected, but discipline can keep it alive until the fire burns again. Here's the secret. Break big dreams into small, daily actions. A dream without action stays a dream, but daily steps, even small ones, transform it into reality. A musician becomes a master not by waiting for inspiration, but by practicing scales day after day. A writer finishes a book not by waiting for the perfect mood, but by writing page after page, even when the words feel clumsy. An athlete wins not only because of talent, but because they train consistently, especially on the days when motivation is low. And let's be honest, There will always be days when you don't feel like it. That's normal. That's where discipline saves you. Passion carries you through the best days. Discipline carries you through the hardest ones. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. Think of Steve Jobs. His passion for design and innovation was legendary. But what truly changed the world was the relentless discipline to keep refining, improving, and pursuing excellence until his vision became reality. His story proves it. Passion gives meaning, discipline gives results. Here's how to make this combination work for you. 1. Honor your passion. Make time for it. Protect it. Feed it with attention. 2. Build discipline. Commit to routines, habits, and actions that keep progress alive. 3. Balance the two. Use passion for inspiration, discipline for consistency. When you merge passion and discipline, you no longer rely on motivation alone. You create a rhythm of effort that keeps building, day after day, until success is inevitable. And here's the reward. The more you show up, the more your skills grow. The more your skills grow, the more your passion deepens. It becomes a cycle. Passion fuels action. Action builds results. Results reignite passion. That's the unstoppable loop of growth. So, don't choose between passion and discipline. Carry both. Let passion light your path, and let discipline keep you walking when the light flickers. Because when your fire meets your focus, when your excitement meets your consistency, that's when dreams stop being dreams and start becoming your reality. Life never stays the same. Seasons shift, people change, opportunities appear and disappear. Sometimes change feels like a gift, a door opening to something better. Other times it feels like loss, a path suddenly vanishing beneath your feet. But here's the secret. While you can't always control change, you can always control how you respond. Adaptability is the art of bending without breaking. It's not about giving up on your dreams, but about finding new ways to reach them when the old path no longer works. Life's journey is rarely straight. Sometimes it twists, sometimes it detours. And if you're willing to adjust your step, you can still reach your destination. Think of Malala Yousafzai. When her world shifted violently, she didn't abandon her mission. She adapted, found new ways to raise her voice, and her message became stronger than ever. That's adaptability, refusing to stay stuck in what was, and instead leaning into what can be. One of the hardest parts of adapting is letting go of the picture you once held in your mind. But clinging to what no longer fits only blinds you to the opportunities right in front of you. Adaptability asks you to stay curious. What can I learn here? How can this change help me grow? And often, the changes you resist the most end up leading to your greatest growth. But adapting isn't enough on its own. You need consistency, the steady, daily actions that turn vision into reality. Big dreams can feel overwhelming when you stare at the distance between where you are and where you want to be. But here's the truth. You don't need to leap that distance in one giant jump. You just need to keep taking small steps. Consistency is the quiet force that transforms hopes into achievements. It's not about perfection, not about speed. It's about showing up daily, doing what you can, and letting those actions compound over time. Think of an athlete preparing for the Olympics. They don't train once in a while and hope for greatness. They show up every day building strength, endurance, and skill until excellence becomes inevitable. And here's something beautiful. Consistency changes you. It teaches discipline, builds resilience, and gives you confidence in your ability to keep promises to yourself. Even when progress feels slow, the act of staying consistent makes you stronger than you were yesterday. Yes, you'll miss days. Life will interrupt, but one missed step doesn't erase progress. Quitting does. Consistency is not about never slipping. It's about always coming back. Now, along the way, you'll face victories and setbacks. Both are teachers. Every experience carries a lesson if you're willing to look for it. Success teaches you what to repeat. Failure teaches you what to adjust. Together, they guide you toward wisdom. Thomas Edison once said he didn't fail 1,000 times. He simply found 1,000 ways that didn't work. Each attempt carried a lesson, and those lessons lit the path to success. That's how life works. Every experience adds to your strength, if you choose to learn from it. And remember, who you surround yourself with matters just as much as what you do. The people closest to you shape your energy, your belief, your future. The right people will lift you higher, remind you of your strengths, and encourage you when doubts creep in. The wrong people will drain your energy and shrink your vision. So choose wisely. Surround yourself with those who inspire you, who believe in your potential, who celebrate your wins without envy. And just as important, be that uplifting person for others. Because when you help others rise, you rise too. Finally, embrace the long game. In a world obsessed with quick results, remember, the most valuable things in life take time. Deep relationships, lasting skills, meaningful achievements, they grow slowly, like a tree taking root. The long game is about patience, persistence, and faith in the process. It's about showing up day after day, even when results aren't visible yet. It's about trusting that the seeds you plant today will become the harvest of tomorrow. Think of learning a musical instrument. At first, your hands feel clumsy, the notes sound wrong. Weeks later, you can play a simple tune. Years later, the music flows effortlessly. Mastery wasn't born in a moment, it was built over time. The long game protects you from disappointment when progress feels slow. It teaches you that every small step forward matters. And often, breakthroughs arrive just when most people give up. That's why patience isn't passive. It's active persistence. It's the steady belief that what you're building is worth the time it takes. So, here's the truth to carry with you. Be adaptable when life shifts. Be consistent in your actions. Learn from every experience. Surround yourself with uplifting people. And play the long game, trusting that the best rewards come with time. Because success isn't a single moment. It's a journey. It's who you become along the way. Stronger, wiser, more resilient, more alive. And when your moment finally arrives, you'll know you earned it. Not because it came quickly, but because you stayed the course, grew through the challenges, and never stopped moving forward. That is the path of greatness. That is the story worth living.